The one rule of Westworld is you do not talk about Westworld.
Let's get into it. Welcome back to AsArt with Nick and John. We post 3 videos a week. Hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to get notified when our new videos are updated. You can find all of our links to our podcast and other fun stuff at asart.space. John,
Woo.
I think Rehoboam, the computer, wanted to destroy himself. Because think about it. Like, he was in control, right? He was in control of, oh my gosh, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Serac?
Caleb.
Serac.
Oh, Serac, yeah.
So remember I had the prediction like that Rehoboam was Serac. Basically, he was, because he was controlling him. So why would he hook up Dolores to himself? Like, that seems like the most stupidest. Like, if you watch any movie or read any book, like, you never hook up a computer to another computer. That's how viruses are uploaded, like, constantly. It's just like,
and then the guy's like, there's no firewall, there's no security. I'm like, well.
Isn't it crazy? Like, that's like the most, like, number one rule, like, smart people, like, you know, think about it. He's a computer programmer. He like knows how things work. Like, why would you hook it up to the mainframe? It's like leaving a hole in the Death Star so you can not go straight to the core to blow it up.
Oh wait, that happened too. But you know what though? I mean, I assumed it was like a one-way. Well, I guess it's not a one-way connection if they're having to retrieve data and stuff. But I didn't think she was hooked up directly to him. You know, I thought it was like a subsystem. I don't know. It
was going right up to the computer.
Yeah. Man, so the 2 vibes I really got, one in the openings, I got a lot of Fight Club because there's not a lot of it, but a couple times, like, he's like, why do they keep calling me sir? It's like,
I was about to say that, the sir, man, like, that's so Fight Club. And then the buildings and everything.
And the buildings at the end, like, everything's going to crap, and she kind of reaches over and touches his hand, and it's pulling back, and you're seeing everything. It's like, instead of at the top of a building, they're on top of a bridge just watching things collapse, and it has this, like, you know, really pop culture-y song playing in the background. I thought it was hilarious, but those are the only spots
that was Pink Floyd.
That was Pink Floyd.
The lunatic in your head. Yeah.
It was good.
No, I'm sorry. No, it was the dark side of the moon.
Yeah.
Anyways, but so your boy William is dead. Did you not see the end credits after the credits where they show everything that happened? You didn't see his neck get slit?
I didn't watch. No, his neck got slit.
By a robotic him. So Charlotte, oh my gosh, I can't believe you didn't watch after the credits. Oh my gosh.
Why did I forget that again? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Oh my gosh, spoiler alert. So basically, this is after the credits. You're supposed to continue watching. Like John, he didn't watch. He got too excited to do this video. So basically, he finally gets into Delos, and he finds where the last pods are for making hosts, and he goes down there, and Charlotte's down there. You know Charlotte, and Charlotte creates a man in black. He's like the full-on cowboy version, and he slits William's throat at the end.
So
I mean, there's blood coming out, and he's holding it. We don't see him go. But we assume that, you know, he's probably going to be dead. And then we see Bernard sitting covered in dust, and he wakes up. But he's like the whole room, everything, he's like layered in dust. So he's been in wherever he went for I don't know how long kind of thing. Because he went to like the eternity thing. Dude, I can't believe you didn't watch the credits.
Dang it, this is not an Avengers movie. This is TV content. This is not supposed to happen. Dang it.
Oh, man. Dude, oh my gosh, this is so sad. Should we pause right here and let you watch the ending?
No, this is fine. Darn it.
Anyway.
I'm like, it's the last episode. They're not going to do like a making of or anything because it's like Game of Thrones. They didn't do a making of. Do they do any behind the scenes stuff?
But it's not the end of the series though. Like there's other episodes.
Yeah. Well, usually whatever.
Oh, it's so funny.
Right, so anyways, watch it when we're
theories
done.
Then, even though he hasn't seen the cliffhangers at the end, theories. So Bernard is covered in dust, kind of like the art. You know, the artwork for the show, it's like a sea and destroyed buildings. So basically, we're kind of seeing the future. So I'm guessing the future gets to the point where it's pretty pretty grim.
Oh, so that scene is William in the future sometime is
No,
finally
that seemed
breaking
pretty
in.
recent because he still had his glove.
Okay,
Remember how he was like sipping drinks and he's like, where's my money and my jet? So he landed somewhere. He shoots some security guards, his own security guards. He goes downstairs and he's about to kill Charlotte, but Charlotte's like, I'm gonna make sure you destroy the world. And he's like, what? Or it was like something where he put the gun down and then he sees himself walking out. So, dang it!
I'm so upset right now. All right, well, I'll have to watch it so we didn't see him literally die. He wasn't decapitated.
No,
so he might still be
there was
there.
blood coming out of his throat, though. Yes.
Okay.
It looked like he was
made
about
another
to die.
Man in Black. That's interesting.
Yes.
Okay. And
because of all the memories that he has in the park.
Yeah, so it still could be technically him.
Well, yeah, it's going to be probably a morphed version, maybe her personality and whatever, but she's going to have some kind of control over him. First of all, though, let's talk about the Fight Club things.
So what did you? So just tell me, like, what did you think about the episode in general? You didn't even get to that.
It was cool. I mean, it was kind of like, okay, so Dolores wasn't the bad person, Serac was the bad person, but I mean, I don't know though, but like, so if the future does look this grim, because we got some futuristic stuff at the end, right, where it's all covered in dust and stuff like that. Was Rehoboam right in the first place? Like, the world was going to destroy itself. So, like,
you're asking me based on the one scene I didn't see.
I'm sorry. That's like the biggest cliffhanger, because they let you look into the future, and then they don't show Stubbs, so Stubbs still in the bathtub with like water now at this point, waiting for him to come back.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh man!
And we got to see the fifth Dolores. Or the fourth Dolores, which was
you were right about that whole time.
Yeah, it was what's his name from Westworld, the guy that always traveled with the man in black, which I thought was so stupid that they wanted at least have a scene with him and the man in black, William, because like his whole
history,
is with. It's like it was so stupid that we didn't even get a moment where they even cross paths or something. So.
Well, so, it's funny. So I think in the last episode, I was like, man, Maeve and Dolores just need to sit down and talk it out. And they fought. And then in a dreamscape, they actually did talk it out. I'm like, that's all you guys needed to do.
The whole time. It's like,
which is funny because it started to annoy me the last season that Dolores always whispers. She never talks. She's always, and the reason we have to do this is because I'm like, why are you whispering? But I get like for suspense, you have to keep that to the end. But it's like, why does everything have to be such a secret with her? Why can't she just say like, this is what I'm trying to do? Because you get much less resistance. I mean, it's a silly argument because it's obviously we want to be entertained, but it's like it's kind of an odd way she's going about it.
But then why does she always have to bring a knife to a gunfight? I get like it's cool and everything, but like it's the whole Indiana Jones with the whip kind of thing, you can like shoot the person, just like I know.
Well, I mean, there's a few times like when Dolores got thrown out the window, or I forgot when she fell, and then Maeve went downstairs. Dolores had a gun that entire time, but instead she let her walk up and try and start fighting before she shot her gun. I'm just like thinking, gosh, why wouldn't you just shoot from Well, then again, she didn't want to kill her, right? The whole thing was she wanted to give her a choice. So never mind, I take that back. That then doesn't go with the story. But it was cool. Like some of the ideas they threw out were very quickly thrown out and then dismissed, and you moved on to the idea that she was the first kind of base code that worked, and so everything's based on her. And then the idea that she's an earlier version that's more metallic, so she didn't get cut up really easily. There are some really cool ideas in there. And then the whole I like this episode. The only things that really kind of I didn't like is I thought the riot scenes were really silly. Like there's this woman in the background wearing a gimp suit dancing. What is going on here? And then people are just like chanting, woo woo, flipping off the cameras. Like, that's so hilarious.
Yeah,
it's like your
kind of weird.
Your stereotypical future apocalypse, not apocalypse. Your typical future looking rioting scene in like a city. But I mean, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't as good as the others. I liked this episode. I thought it was fun.
It was a good episode. It kind of replicates the first season of Westworld, though, right?
Yeah, so you were saying you read
No, it's a video.
theory
I
on that,
just watched the video. And I thought
yeah.
it was really good.
Uh-huh.
But right away too, especially once I read that and I saw this episode, it was very much like the whole destroying the god, so you can get your own freedom kind of thing, and you get to choose.
Well, it's funny, and then Maeve even said like, "What do you plan on doing? Making another William?" I'm like, "Oh, they even went to that, where they plan on." Yeah, so it was very interesting.
True.
Yeah,
they made another William.
So
I know. So like
sleep,
Caleb was William, right?
Kind of, basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got confused on this. So when Arnold goes to see
Arnold's
was
wife.
that his wife?
Arnold's
wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing it was because they had the
yeah,
kid
they're talking about the son. Yeah.
But
That's
it's a different house.
but
I don't know though, because there was another house he always went to with Dolores. I don't know.
That was the house he was building, right? I don't think they.
Oh
got
yeah,
to that.
you're right. Yeah, it was the house he was building. But it was it was a good episode. I'm curious where they're gonna go from here, like how far in the future they're gonna jump. Because now that all the main characters except for Caleb are robots at this point, you know what I mean?
True.
Like you can jump through time like crazy because now it doesn't matter if they age or not.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, William, we can't count him out completely yet because, like you said, we didn't see him decapitated or irreversibly damaged. Honestly, they probably left that as an option. Like, okay, we're still writing the next season. Let's leave ourselves some options. Because remember, when they wrote this, they probably hadn't gotten approved for the next season already. I'm assuming. So they probably wanted to leave themselves avenues they could take. But that'd be a bummer if, like, the real William was gone and then they just have I almost said a CG version, but like a robotic version of him. It's still Ed Harris, it's still great acting, but it's like, yeah, you kind of want to keep some of the real base characters instead of replacing them because it doesn't feel the same when you don't. It
worked out with Charlotte though, right?
Well, I mean, Charlotte, we didn't see a huge amount of her this season, really. She's out there, but we didn't really see her.
But like the whole, like she's more human than the other Charlotte was, kind of thing.
Well, she was for a split second. Now she seems like she's Terminator now, which I think was a bummer because I think both of us liked the idea that she was keeping her humanity through that family and things.
We
like
thought
that.
she was going to be the better Dolores.
Yeah, the better Dolores. Yeah, and I think it was cool that we found out that the Dolores, or at least the visibly Dolores version of her, did have some type of positive plan, so she wasn't just a straight up tyrant. But again, it's like, why so secretive? Yeah. Can you just made it like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. Don't try and samurai sword me again. Robots. Just talk.
I mean, it was cool though because Arnold had the key the whole time. Did he know he had the key, or was that the thing that was like hiding in his code?
Oh, it was blocking. Yeah, I think that's the thing that was hiding in his code. I'm assuming because.
And now so basically he went there. I forgot what they call it, the virtual paradise. I forget what they call it.
It wasn't Eden. It was I forgot what they called it too.
But they
Eternity, I forgot what they call it.
Yeah, I can't remember. But he goes there so he can predict the future, basically.
Well, so he can find out what the possible solution is. Something about like I need to find a solution or something like that. And then he just Oh, the other vibe I was getting a lot of, and I'm sure you did too, is Tron. So I mean, they have red, and they're going to blue, and then he puts on the little headset. He's like, it was very
virtual,
Tron,
going
legacy,
a virtual game kind of thing. So
yeah.
I mean, is everyone going to end up in a virtual simulation now? Because like basically we have copies of what everyone is, So and then Charlotte was making tons of. She had like a whole room of new hosts that she was making.
Interesting.
So maybe she's creating a host maybe that's the evil Dolores. Man, this they better not do season 2 with season 4 where it's like, now Dolores has a host army and then it's just like man. Oh no.
I mean, honestly, so Nick and I through most of the season should have known, but we didn't know that they had already been renewed for like a 4th and potentially 5th season. And so I thought this would have been a good way to round out and end the series. And honestly, the way they left it, they could have left it open-ended, but ended as well. Not the way they did this last episode, but it's like, okay, this mainframe from Serac is offline. Humans have their own destiny. you leave some open-ended kind of threads and things like that. And actually, that's probably what they did. They probably said, okay, if this ends up being our last season, let's give it enough open-endedness where people can try and project on their own conversation where it's going to go. But then they left enough cliffhangers to where, okay, we can continue on from there. But I thought
overall, was this your favorite episode of the season?
You know what? Man, it was such a scattered season, at least for me. It might have been because I watched season 1 and 2 just basically in a matter of weeks. And whereas this, I had to watch it like a regular consumer, week by week. And so maybe that they feel a little more scattered to me. I can't separate the episodes quite as much. I just remember that you and I weren't really into the episodes until we got to episode 3 or so, right? Was that
with
correct?
Bernard? Yeah, and we thought Bernard was going to play a bigger part, which he really did.
Yeah, and that's the thing that I found surprising is they seem to be building towards, okay, everybody had their episode or their payoff, and it seemed like we were going to get to the end where we were really going to see a lot of Bernard, and then we didn't get a whole lot of him still.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was fine. Like we got to the idea that, okay, he's had this key to the eternal or the after, whatever it is, this whole time, but then he just came and went again real quick, and
it's true.
His sidekick again, just getting beat up and on there for 2 seconds.
Yeah, true. He's the Scottie Pippen of this story.
Hey, Scottie Pippen had a lot more game time, buddy.
But so underpaid, undervalued.
Oh man, but I am interested to see where they're going to take it. They just took so many. They backstepped on so many things they established. They established the Charlotte Dolores as the kind of morality based one, and they backpedaled on that. Then they made the evil Dolores not that evil. So it's like they kept going back and forth, and it'll be interesting if they don't have Dolores as Dolores anymore. That seemed like that was her last.
Will it still be Westworld if Dolores isn't there?
Well, that's the thing.
It's tough, right? Like I feel like they can't get rid of Dolores, and there has to be a version out there of her. Like I'm shocked that. Caleb, I thought about this when I was watching. I'm like, can't you just revive the deleted files? Like, can't you just move them out of the trash bin and restore the memories? Yeah. Like, you're in control of this robot, and if anything, he probably backed up and processed something because it remembers everything. Like, can't he have restored her memories or something? I don't know.
Well, I thought what was going to happen was what Nick said he thought was going to happen with Bernard, where Bernard was going to almost. His consciousness was going to be put into that big machine. And I thought when she was going from, it was going from red to blue, I thought for a second it was going to be Dolores was going to like kind of force her consciousness in there.
Which maybe that kind happened. Of, right? Like something went up there which gave power to Caleb.
Yeah. Like, it was like access. It cut out Serac and put him in there, but it's okay. That's it. That's the one thing that went in there. So
yeah,
that was a little bit interesting. And then, I guess it's through Maeve's powers that Dolores and her were able to talk like that. Is that what the deal was?
Yeah,
I'm guessing because and they had this magical moment.
Maeve seems like she has some kind of superpower where she can even talk to any electrical or computer basically, because she was even able to hear Rehoboam.
Well, in that case, I still have been confused why she hasn't just forced her way into Dolores' consciousness this whole thing, because she kind of she's like. You can either let me read your mind or I'll force my way in. I thought she was going to like do like the Neo stuff and just force her way into her mind. But clearly she would have done that early in the season if she could. But it's like, okay, where do her powers leave off and where do they pick up? It's not like she's wearing Dolores is wearing the Magneto helmet or she can't get.
Maybe she is. We don't know what's underneath that skin.
I thought it was interesting. But overall, I'm still interested in the series. It's just now we have to wait a long time before we get another season, right?
Yes.
How long in between season 2 and 3 was it?
It was a big gap.
Yeah, it was like a couple of years, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2 years. And now with this whole COVID thing, they're probably not getting started on anything until.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, unless they just needed time to write. But I assume that season 4 was already, they'd already been working on that. I don't know.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to be covering other cool shows too. We're going to be covering The Boys season 2. Super excited for that and what's going to come of that. And we're also going to be covering His Dark Materials. Especially once the second season comes out. We're super stoked about that show. And we're also stoked about some cool Netflix shows that are coming out too. So if you subscribe, you'll get updated on all the cool stuff we're going to cover.
And we are going to be covering, kind of different from the channel, but again, it's anything artistic. A lot of great editing this. Nick's just starting. It's called The Last Dance. It's about the Chicago Bulls during their last. I'm on episode 8. Nick needs to catch up. But it's so good. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out in the US. You kind of have to go through ESPN. Check out AsArt.space for all the audio and video links. We'll see you guys on the next show, AsArt.
I still can't believe you didn't watch the end. Oh.